midfield because Kevin Sheedy limped out of last week's Merseyside derby defeat. Pat van den Hauwe plugs the gap at left-back. Peter Reid missed England's trip to Turkey in midweek, but he's been past fit. So too has striker Wayne Clark. George Courtney, the referee, arrived back home from taking charge of the midweek European Championship International between Holland and Hungary, expecting to be playing golf this afternoon. Yesterday, though, he was called up to take over from the injured Neville Ashley. Anything less than a victory will send Manchester City back to the second division. They're here in a change strip of red and black checks, a very ornate design, but it's what's inside the shirt that matters for them here. Snowden took it cleverly and ran away from Langley, and that wasn't far away. The first real shot in anger from Everton at Eric Nixon's goal. And Ian Snowden had done well to get to this point. Looking for his first league goal for Everton. He scored for them in the FA Cup since he's moved from Leeds. May. McNabb beating Snowden. Then van den Hauwe above Verratti. Langley. Cut off though by Stevens. Heath. Wilson's intervention for Manchester City. Watson and Langley, that was a fiercely committed challenge. It went Everton's way. And McCarthy almost came through Snowden, but the referee saw nothing wrong. George Courtney, always an official who gives the game a chance of flowing. Simpson. And Verratti nearly sneaking in. Both Watson and eventually Ratcliffe made contact. As Simpson got the ball in such a position, it wasn't the best hit cross, but both central defenders for Everton were facing their own goal. Flicked off Watson, and then Ratcliffe just took it from Verratti back to the goalkeeper. Good jump by Redmond. Wilson blocked by Stephen. Both sides committed here to a 4-4-2 formation. So there are plenty of individual battles to be won and lost, particularly in that congested midfield area. Van den Hauwe. Everton for the moment without Reid, who stayed down injured. McNabb just runs the ball past Peter Reid, who's still on all fours, and Paul Stewart with some possibilities here. Watson slapping it away back where it had come from. Stewart again. And now both physios will be required. Stewart is the injured City player. But the damage a little bit more lasting to Reid, who sustained a shin problem at Anfield last week, and that's why he didn't travel with England. But he forced himself into a tackle that got the ball for Everton, but he stayed down, and it may have been just a blow to the face by Neil McNabb, who was the player just competing for City. It looked an accident from here. And Howard Kendall knows how important Peter Reid is out there. Just behind him is the Everton doctor, in fact. You might be wondering whether he ought to check on proceedings. John Klinkard at the moment trying to reassure himself that Peter Reid is okay. Well, maybe it's more than that. And the doctor goes down. Alan Harper watching from the sidelines as to whether he'll be required. Well, Alan Harper is well equipped to fill the gap if Reid can't resume. And clearly his senses have been disturbed by that collision with Neil McNabb. He'd loosened a tooth or two, but he wants to come back on. There's no doubt about that. That's handball by Parr, which will give Peter Reid the opportunity to return. When you think that in Mexico, during the World Cup with England, he actually had a stress fracture and still performed, a little bang to the face isn't going to stop him. Heath. Just playing it a little bit tentatively. No chances for Everton here. It's the right policy, although the crowd don't really approve of it. Both centre-backs were being pressed by their opposite numbers in terms of the players they mark, Varady and Stewart. Manchester City, though, have got through the first 20 minutes of the bottom versus top clash unscathed. Stewart. Here's Clark. Furthest forward for Everton is Adrian Heath. It was a difficult ball for him to deal with. Clements providing the cover. Back at right back, his former position, because of an injury to John Gidman. Helped on by Reid, met though by Wilson. Langley, who's doing a good holding job in the middle of midfield so far for City. Both sides, though, guilty of making mistakes. Nixon says he wants it, and it was right at the edge of his area. Well, it was a strong call, and it did work out for Eric Nixon. And that's a push, a charge right into the back of Clark by Redmond. Again, Watson is the target, and he beat McCarthy to it. Snowden. Heath is onside. McCarthy, and then Clements. Making sure that City keep their goal intact. But it was a moment to raise the hopes of the Evertonians. Snowden. McCarthy found himself in the right place again. Varady's got to hold it up, and that's a bit difficult to do with Ratcliffe nibbling away. But the damage seemed only to a trampled hand. Kevin Ratcliffe, one of the few players remaining at Goodison Park from the days when Varady was a player here. Ratcliffe again, but straight to May. But now Snowden. Everton might have to bide their time to get players forward. Arriving on the far side is Stephen. But every little groan of disappointment around Goodison Park is music to the ears of the Manchester City players. For all their troubles, Manchester City have been blessed again by tremendous support, and they come here in their hundreds again. Simpson. Will that come for Stewart? Got there before Ratcliffe and hit it pretty true. Southall in just the right place, having narrowed the angle. Stewart found by Paul Simpson, and before Ratcliffe could get across, he took the shot early. And it may be here sound medical sense to say enough is enough for all Peter Reid's bravery. As Reid goes down the tunnel, Alan Harper is preparing himself. Power. Now Vanden Hauwe. Three waiting for the cross for Everton, flicked on by Heath. Stevens. But the referee had blown for a foul by Clark. Everton, with 16 minutes of the first half remaining, can make their substitution. It's Alan Harper for the unlucky Peter Reid. But how popular he has become here, Harper. Seemed a year ago he would be leaving because he couldn't get a regular place. He's played a lot of games this season in a variety of positions and been more than just a stopgap. Good climb by Stevens, and for his pains he got a little kick after the ball had gone from Stewart, which fortunately for the Manchester City man, George Courtney didn't see. Harper. McCarthy has been a dominant figure. Wilson. No shortage of his own belief for his skill on the ball. Oh, and it's played back by Redmond, so close to Heath. And City nearly committing suicide then. What was Steve Redmond thinking about? Redmond, after the tidy work from Wilson, just played it there and he couldn't have looked, and Heath was, what, a boot's length away. Well, Snowden did give it away, but he will maybe argue that the players around him didn't take up quite the right positions. Half-time must be very shortly upon us, and it's been an anxious first 45 minutes for Everton, a battling 45 minutes for Manchester City, typified by the work of Big Mick McCarthy at the back. Everton, having lost the guidance and the inspiration of Peter Reid, will be hoping for some improvement in the second half. At half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 0, Manchester City 0.